What if I told you the whole point of life isn't about being happy or comfortable? In this explainer, we're going to unpack a simple but really powerful philosophy. One that completely reframes life's challenges, not as things to avoid, but as the very ingredients that make us strong.
Everything we're going to talk about today is built on this one powerful idea from Nambuddha. Now, I want you to look at this quote not just as some nice, feel-good saying. Think of it as a roadmap, a complete blueprint. We're going to break it down piece by piece and see how it lays out a plan for building a stronger life.
Okay, so the whole philosophy kicks off with a statement that, might sound a bit harsh at first, but trust me, once it sinks in, it's actually incredibly liberating. It's all about completely reframing what we expect from life in the first place.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds kind of pessimistic, right? But it's not at all. It's actually about adjusting our settings. See, so many of us go through life with this hidden belief that it should be easy, and when things get hard, we think something's gone wrong. This idea just flips that completely on its head. It says that challenges aren't a bug in the system, they're a feature.
So that leads to a pretty obvious question, right? If we just throw out the idea of a smooth, easy, frictionless life, then what are we even supposed to be doing here? What's the point? Well, the quote gives us a very direct answer.
And the answer is almost deceptively simple. The purpose isn't ease, it's experience. The whole goal is to live life, fully and completely. But what does to be lived really mean when you get down to it?
To live, in this sense, means you're signing up for the whole package. You're engaging with everything life decides to throw at you. It's about being present for all of it, not just picking and choosing your favorite parts. It's about embracing the entire spectrum. The joy? Yeah, but also the pain, the wins, the losses. Instead of trying to build a safe little bubble with only the comfy stuff inside. And this brings us to a really fundamental truth about a life that's truly lived. It's not a constant party. It's not a permanent vacation. It has two sides that are basically inseparable.
So you have the happy times and you have the rough times. But notice how they're not presented as enemies here. They're more like partners, two sides of the same coin. A life that's actually being lived is naturally going to have both. This philosophy doesn't ask us to pretend we love the hard times, but it does ask us to see both as essential parts of the whole journey.
And this is the phrase from the quote that I really want you to focus on. In every up and down. That little word, every, is a game changer. It means there's something to gain from all of it, the peaks and the valleys. No experience is just wasted space. And that idea right there is what takes this whole thing from a passive mindset to an active mission.
So up until now, we've mostly been talking about mindset, right? About acceptance. But this next part, this is the instruction manual. This is what you're supposed to do. This is your job in the whole process of getting stronger.
The quote gives us a direct order. You must learn a lesson. Notice it doesn't say it would be nice if you learned a lesson. It says you must. So the process is pretty straightforward. First, something happens, an up or a down. Second, your job is to get curious and actively search for the lesson in it. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? And finally, you have to actually apply that lesson. That's how experience gets turned into wisdom.
Okay, but why is that so important? Why is hunting for the lesson the absolute key to this whole thing? Well, because it's the secret ingredient. It's the mechanism that transforms raw experience into fuel for your own growth.
And this all leads us to the final piece of the puzzle. This is the payoff. This is the ultimate result you get from accepting life's deal, living it fully, and learning from every single moment.
And there it is, strength. But listen, strength isn't something you just have or you don't. According to this philosophy, it's something you build. It's the direct result of this whole process we've been talking about. Every lesson you pull from an up or a down is like another brick you're laying in the foundation of your own personal resilience.
So let's just put it all together one more time. The journey to real strength starts the moment we stop wishing life was easy. That simple acceptance frees us up to actually live it, to embrace the happy times and the rough times. But we don't just passively endure them. No, we actively learn from every single experience. And that constant cycle of living and learning, well, that's the engine that forges strength.
So I'll end with a question to turn all this back to you. Because this isn't just some abstract theory. It's a practice. I want you to look at your life, right now, whatever's happening, whether it feels like an up or a down, and ask yourself, what's the most important lesson this is trying to teach me? Because whatever the answer is, that's your very next step on the path to becoming stronger.